My whole entire life, I've just been so lazy. I remember my parents knocking on my door Saturday morning. I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I'd wake up and they would tell me immediately that I have to clean my room today or else whatever happens to me, right? There was some type of punishment that they would daunt on me. And I would remember being like, okay, I'm smarter than you guys. So I'm just going to take all the dirty shit on my floor and I'm going to shove it under the bed. And voila, my room is clean now. And that was a negative habit that I never knew that I built because that built slothfulness, that built the best course of action. The way that I go about everything is how can I do this the easiest way possible, the most lazy way possible. Same thing with video games. Growing up, I was just an advocate for story mode games. You know, I would think about games day in and day out. I thought I was gonna be a video game creator or a professional video game player, which I didn't think was a profession back in 2010, 2011. But I loved games and I would look at every single story mode game as how can I beat this the fastest way possible? And I would look up walkthroughs, I would look up cheat codes, I would look up glitches, I would look up all the things that would bring me to the finish line, whether it was Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man, GTA, whatever the case may be. I looked up every single cheat code possible because I didn't want to do the game the hard way. And that really built me into I had to really unlearn coming into my high school years and definitely later on after high school is that I always went about things the most lazy way possible. I went about things the easiest way possible. And in life, that is not how we get rewards. That's not how we get gifted things. You know, things don't just come to the people that are easy. They come to the people that do work. And it took me a lot of unlearning. You know, it took me a lot of time to develop the skill to stop going about it the easy way and facing the hard route. Because when something hard came my way, I always crumbled under pressure. I was never able to face that hardship in my life, but now I choose the hard decision. So I built a system, you know, after 5, 6 years of just choosing the hard thing, I was able to just conquer every single thing that came my way because I chose that hard route. And whenever the laziness would attack me, I know how to unwire myself now. So there's a 3-step process that I follow nowadays that show me the right steps and the right ways of doing things. And I never have that lazy, slothful, how do I go about this the easiest way possible mindset anymore. Now I just have a system that I can lean on. So I'm going to share with you guys that 3-step system as fast as possible so you guys can apply this into 2026 because I promise you, it has not just worked for me, but it's worked for other people that I've helped with. So the first thing is you need to have a system. You need to have a system that builds discipline, right? So you necessarily don't even need to be a disciplined person to have discipline. You just need to have a system that keeps you disciplined. So for me, what that looks like is I have a morning routine. That morning routine, I make my bed. I'm sure we all heard that TED Talk in high school. If you have not, go watch that 6-minute video. After I make my bed, I drink my 32 ounces of water and I prioritize my health with that action. And then I read my Bible, I pray, I read a book, I journal, and then I do some core. And all those things, are they necessarily hard? No. They take 15 to 20 minutes and we all know how to read. We all know how to drink water. And pray is something that all of us could use, but those things are not hard at all. But what is hard about it is doing it every single day. But what does it grow? And it grows discipline. See, discipline's like a muscle, and it's just like a muscle that you have on your body. You have muscles in your chest, you have muscles in your legs, like your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. Those are things that you need to nurture over time, and the same can be said with the muscle of discipline. So when you have a system like the morning routine, and let's say after the morning routine, how I get deep work done is I'll have a little timer that I'm gonna grab. So I'll have this little timer, I'll set it, let's say it says 62 minutes right now. I will not get up until this timer is done from 60 minutes, right? And I will do work for that whole 60 minutes and then I will relax for 15 to 30 and then I can do it again. So that's another system that I follow to do work. And if you don't work like that, then look up into the Pomodoro method. That's something that I do as well. So I'll do 15 to 30 minutes of deep work and then I'll take a 5-minute break, maybe go on my phone, eat, whatever, I don't know, take some type of break, and then I go back to work. And you can do these in blocks. So that's another system that you can follow. So what you need to do in 2026 is you need to have a system that you can follow, a set of habits. You know, same with me at the night routine is that I write down my day the following night. And that has been an ongoing effort that I've been doing for 5 straight years. I have not missed a beat. And I literally get everything done on that list because I'm subconsciously planting in my mind what I have to do. Second thing is I can go back to that list the whole day and refer back to what needs to be done so I'm the most productive man that I possibly can be. That is something that's super, it's just productive. It's efficient. So the 3 things that I just do, I do a lot more of those, a lot more things, but you plan your day the night before. so you can subconsciously think about every single thing you have to do. I will have a morning routine that is grounded in discipline. I'll have work blocks and effective study methods that I'll do. And there's so much more, like eating, the way that I think about things, the way that I go to the gym, all of it, the way that I program my workouts for me and my clients, all these things I plant. But you guys need to look at life as a system. And when you do, it's going to just be easy to lean on for discipline. Second thing is, I was always an emotionally weak creature growing up. And until I suffered enough and was at rock bottom, I was unable to understand the way that I felt and the way that other people felt, and I had empathy for other people. And one of the things that always kept me lazy and always kept me from doing work is I would listen to an emotion. Because I would think about, I have to go cook some food, and what just comes with that food? Well, I have to go to the grocery store, and then once I come home from the grocery store, I have to prep that meal, then I have to cook that meal, then I have to clean, and then I can eat. Or I can eat, then clean. And it's daunting. It thinks like it's a lot of work when you really think about it, right? And that always held me back. And then the emotion that would follow was slothfulness, laziness. I wouldn't want to be productive, and it always held me back. But now I don't think like that. I think about the actions and just doing them rather than the feeling. So what I'm saying with the second step is you need to stop listening to your emotions and you have to listen to the action. Because a lot of the times, once we start to act, that emotion of laziness, that emotion of anxiety or worry or whatever the case may be that's going to happen in our life is going to go away once we actually have the action that follows with it. So if you guys want to apply this in your life, think about every action that you've ever wanted to do and you did not do. So I'm going to use two examples. We'll use the cooking example, right? I wanted to make dinner for myself tonight when I get home after work, but the task of thinking about cooking after I get home from work and then prepping the meal, and then I have to eat, and then after I eat and I'm full and I'm tired and I'm probably having a crash at that point because I'm just carb loaded, is I'm gonna probably just want to relax, but now I have to clean. You think about all those things in an order and you're like, damn, I'd rather just eat out and go grab an unhealthy fast meal. But rather than doing that, I'm gonna think about the action and I'm just gonna act. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm going to act for 5 minutes, start prepping, see how it goes, and then keep going through the process. If I still don't want to do it, then I'll have the prep and I can cook it tomorrow, right? Let's use another example, right? Let's say I used this on a friend the other night. He didn't want to come out for New Year's Eve. He lives pretty far away, but I knew he wanted to have fun. He knew he wanted to have social interaction with people, but he did not want to come out. And I used this on him, and I said, dude, if you don't want to come, then don't come. It's fine. But it sounds like you're wrestling with it. He's like, yeah, I am. And I was like, okay, this is what I do for any action that I want to do, whether it's cooking, whether it's working out, whether it's talking with clients, whatever the case may be. I always have them act the first 5 minutes, right? Get ready. Start, showering, brush your hair, brush your teeth, and then grab your keys, go out to the car, right? Drive for like 2 or 3 minutes. And if it still feels like you don't want to do that action, turn around and go home, right? The same can be said with the cooking, right? So act on that thing that you want to do. And the emotion that you are running from is necessarily going to go away because the action is going to influence your feelings. So the second thing is simply just start acting more, right? And if the feeling is still there, then it might not be the right time. So just continue to act, allow 5 minutes, 10 minutes to go by. If it does not feel right, depending on the situation, then simply disregard yourself from the situation. So the first one is have a system that you can lean on for discipline, and then stop listening to your emotions and just start acting. And the last thing I want you guys to apply for the laziness that you're going to get rid of this year is you have to kill the old version of yourself, right? Now it's going to sound a little extreme, but you literally have to suffocate that past version of you that always was slothful, like it's okay to relax, right? There's a difference between relaxing. There's a difference between being lazy. And I would say that your old version of yourself wants to be lazy. It wants to come home from work and it wants to simply lay on the couch, watch Netflix, grab a Chipotle burrito, crush that, and then just watch Stranger Things for the night, right? But your new version of yourself, the version that's at the pinnacle of your life, wants to simply work out. He wants to go work that 9 to 5, make some moolah, go to the gym afterwards, and then make a steak and sweet potato meal and crush that, and then maybe do some deep work for a future business that you're planning, or read a book just to apply some mental health or some knowledge that you always craved, right? That is what your future version of yourself looks like. But a lot of the times when we have these goals, like it's the new year, a lot of people that I work with have weight loss goals. A lot of people that I am around have goals maybe to some people I know, they smoke weed. They want to stop smoking weed. They want to stop drinking and going out and spending money. Some people just want to get their life together and make more money at work, right? Usually that never happens, right? And the majority of the time that it never happens is because you feed your past identity. And I want you to pause and think about, how do I feed my past identity? What do you mean? The person that goes home and watches Netflix and sits on their ass rather than walking towards the goal of weight loss, they feed their past habits, they feed their past mindset, their past emotions. The person that wants to stop smoking weed, one wrong thing happens to them and they simply get cut off at work, or are cut off driving to work, or their girlfriend texts them something that pisses them off. They immediately go to the weed and they escape that reality. That's your past version. But that is not how the person that the goal you have is going to align with your choices. See, the person that has mental stability and wants to create the best control of their reality and wants to dictate where they go is not going to use a drug to run away. The person that wants to lose 80 pounds or 60 pounds, have a six pack, or the woman that wants to have a bigger butt and look better in the mirror and love what she sees, and she wants to simply have every inch of her body, she loves every single thing. She's not judging it anymore, she's loving it. That person doesn't go sit on their ass after work and have a glass of wine and watch Netflix and have a tub of Ben and Jerry's. That person doesn't do that. See, your version goes to the gym. They work out. They continue to add muscle. When they look in the mirror, they love every square inch. That person that wants to make money doesn't go home and get high and bullshit for a couple hours, or drink a couple beers, or go out with friends to escape the reality on the weekends. No, that version of you simply aligns with the best choices, like maybe starting your business venture and working on that instead on Saturday night or Friday night. That is what your future version of yourself is. So when you think of being lazy and you feel yourself being lazy, I want you to ask yourself this very powerful question. Does this choice align with the past version of myself, or does it align with the version I'm trying to become? That is the powerful question. Am I aligning with the future version? Am I aligning with that person that wants to love every square inch in the mirror? Am I aligning with the person that's going to build a business and retire my mother 10 years from now? Or am I being the person that's slothful and still wants to go out every single weekend with my friends? Am I still the person that hates what they see in the mirror and I simply just dedicate every single square inch to just looking what's wrong with my body? Think about that question. This doesn't even need to be for laziness. This can be when you're just trying to improve your well-being of your life. Every single question regards in that lens. Those three things, I promise you, they will change your life. And if they don't change your life, it's because you're not applying it. You don't actually want to apply those three things. So I truly hope this video helped you guys, because I used to just destroy myself. I used to just be so lazy. I'd get high. I'd hate what I saw in the mirror, but I never wanted to make a change because I simply didn't have the mental well-being or the capacity to do so. And I hated that feeling. And that feeling growing up always ate at me. I never felt like I could shine bright in rooms. I never thought I could be the man that I am today. I've lost 80 pounds. I've pulled myself out of the deepest pit of depression. I've left mental hospitals. I've gone to jail. I've done these things that have fucked me up forever, but I've healed. And that's the beautiful part of life. So for those of you that feel like there's just no way you can apply those three things, I have an offer for you guys. So for those of you that, want that mental stability, you want your habits to be aligned with the future version of you, you want to lose weight, but you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to simply just be a productive human being of society, then I have built a step-by-step process for you guys to do so through my one-on-one coaching method. So I've coached plenty of people, like right now my client Matt. He simply always had problems dedicating himself to choices. He would be super ambitious for 2 months, but then once the result didn't come and he was so focused on the outcome, he never was able to, grow. But now I've built a step-by-step process for him, and he told me last week that this is the most productive that he's ever been in his whole entire life. And he used the word maybe at first, and then 10 minutes later, he goes, no, this is the most productive, because like times before where I would quit, right now mentally, and I just feel like I have such faith and belief in the system that I'm leaning on every day. So for those of you that are looking for that same thing, I help people build that system. I help people pull themselves out of pits that they feel like there's no purpose. I help people build the physique that they want to build so that when they look in the mirror that they love every single square inch. So if that is something that interests you guys, I want you to go down and click that first link in the bio where you guys can book a call with me one-on-one just to see if it's the right fit for you. And if it's not, simply I would love to just plant the seed for you to realize, what am I doing wrong? What could I do better? Those are simple things that I would love just to help you guys do. So I'm looking forward to talking with every single person on that one-on-one call. And if you simply have benefited from this video today, please just take 3 notes, apply it to the rest of your year, have a system. Make sure you kill that past version of yourself and stop leaning on your emotions. And I promise you, this year is going to be your best year of your life. So I'm looking forward to talking with you guys. Have a blessed day. Peace out.